Cool, kids. Well, one of my subscribers is about to be a lucky devil. Yeah. So, in the silver game, people make stickers. Well, that's neat. But I make miniatures. And by I make, I mean I paint miniatures. Hi, Eva. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to take these miniatures and paint them. Yeah. With a speed paint technique, obviously. And then we'll see what happens from there. Oh, yeah. So, step one, obviously, is cleaning the miniature. These have been bathed in soap and water and given a good once-over with a brush to remove any of the residue from the agents and the dye, the molds. And then we're going to look it over for mold lines. And we're either going to file them or cut them out. Alright, so I'll get back to you once I've done that. Alright, now that the models are cleaned up, we can begin the next phase. Ooh. And that is to do a prime coat. And that prime coat, we'll have to decide if we're going to do zenithal priming or not. We'll see. I mean, I might do it just to show it off. Just for you guys. But, yeah. Gotta get those mold lines off of there. Alright, so, next up, we're going to prime them. I use a lovely substance called gesso. But you can use any substance you like, including the pre-made primers that everybody likes. There's also spray-on primer. You know what we could do? We could do spray-on primer just for fun. Huh. Couldn't we? We got the gesso out. Let's do that. Just for sometimes fun, I add a little color to the gesso. Because, diffusion. Because, so just a little drop of paint to the gesso to give it a little pigment. Just enough to color it, not enough to really mess with the mix. You don't want to. But sometimes white's just not the color you want your minis to start out at. Alright. And the brush don't have to be neat, it's an application. So we're just applying gesso. Nice and thin. Nice and thin. Water it down, guys. Don't be afraid to water it down. 2 coats of thin is way better than 1 coat of thick. Believe that. Nice, thin, delicious gesso. Scrumptious roll. And we'll go ahead and hit those, and then we'll get to the next step. And once you have a nice coat of primer on the model, you can then do fun things like hit it with a real quick wash to bring out the details for you. That's always an option. Again, you're going to apply it with a brush. So let me get a wash. And you can make your own wash, guys. You don't have to buy the fancy stuff. But the fancy stuff does work a little better. Let's see. There we go. We'll use dark tone from the Army Painter. And, you know, we're trying to bring out details, so the dark tone is probably the one we want. And here we go. And again, don't let it pull up. Just bringing out the details. Bringing out the joy and letting it about. Let the happiness come to you. See that? It's going to be pretty easy to see what we're painting now, isn't it? All right, our next move, believe it or not, we'll be choosing where to paint next. So where do we paint? Well, typically when you're painting a model, you'll start with the skin and work your way outward. So our miniatures here, let's talk about them real quick. We haven't done that. Our miniatures here are from the following series. The Mythical Heroes set from Amazon.com. And the Monsters of Ceylon by Wildspire Games. And to not sell these guys short, this is made by, hold on, made out of Romania, House of Bodian. There you go. So those are out of Romania, and then the other models are from our Monsters of Ceylon set. If you want to check out these sets, look in my links. I got a playlist called Amazon Finds, and you will find those sets in there. You can get the full details and everything and talk all about it. Phone a friend. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to paint the skin on these models. And these are tieflings, so we're going to talk about the models. Tieflings, very spooky, very dangerous, very cool, often used as PCs, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. So I'm going to go ahead and paint all the skin red, okay? And we're going to do a, we'll start with garnet red. And then we're going to go to dragon red. And then we're going to go to wrath. And then finally, that should be a good start for us. And keep in mind, if we wanted to layer this up, we could. We're not going to layer up. We're going to be doing speed painting techniques. So we're going to be hitting that with the dry brush. All right. We'll see how that goes. And here we go. Really quickly, garnet red is from the Reaper line. So there's that. Also, nothing we're doing here should take very much paint. So drops. You're going to put a drop of paint on your palette. You don't need much because there's not much skin to paint. More on this model than this model. Okay. All right. Other important things. Now's the time to be messy. You don't want to be messy on our later layers, but this layer you can be messy on. That's fine. No harm, no foul, because nothing is set in stone. Does that mean, get goofy with it? No, you don't have to, but if you want to, you could. Yeah. You could just spread red everywhere if it made you happy. All right, just little short tips. Also, again, 2 thin layers is better than 1 layer that's too thick. In these early stages, covering is the key. It's better to, like I said, make a boo-boo now than to have to come in later and cover an area that you should have covered before And try not to mess up what you painted over the top. Alright, so something like this. Something close to this will definitely get you in the ballpark of where you want to be. The trouble with painting is you gotta wait for it to dry, but the cool thing about painting multiple miniatures is while one dries, you're painting the other. So it does actually create efficiency to an extent. So next up, I'm going to paint the bases a little bit. We're going to paint the bases a little bit just for funsies while we let everything else dry. Alright, I'm going to hit these two with maiden flesh. These two. And the other two I'm going to hit with Dungeon Stone. Dungeon Stone. Alright. And I'll let you see what that looks like when we're done. Alright. So we should be looking at something very similar to what's in my hand here. And okay. Try this a different way. Okay. Wow. Just wow. Okay. Something like that. Okay, and something like that. And that'll be enough for one video. I don't want to make these too long. Alright. Thanks for watching, and hope you find all the collectibles of your dreams while you're awake. We're going to finish painting these up because they are for some of my subscribers. And, well, I'll see you guys later.